Tansy, everyone. Thanks for joining me for story time today. The story that we're going to read is called Just a Walk. The words are written by Jordan Wheeler, and all the pictures are drawn by Christopher Utcher. Get comfortable. Let's take a look at what the story is all about. One day, Chuck decided to go for a walk. He didn't know where, so he followed a hawk. Down to the river he watched the hawk fly, and Chuck followed after, watching the sky. Over the river he saw the hawk dash, but Chuck didn't look, and he fell in with a splash. He was all soaking wet. Did it matter to him? Not until he remembered he couldn't swim. Down to the bottom, Chuck sank like a rock. He thought, this is no way to go for a walk. His feet hit the mud and went in with a squish. Chuck held his breath and grabbed onto a fish. He gave that old fish some encouraging calls, but the crazy old fish led him over the falls. Chuck thought he was finished. He hadn't a chance. But just then his long braids got caught in a branch. High in the sky he hung safe in an oak, but as luck would have it, the branch cracked and broke. Down to the water Chuck felt himself float, but lucky for him, he fell into a boat. Chuck said to himself, safe at last, I think. But the boat had a hole, and it started to sink. The water wasn't as deep as before, so he jumped off the boat and waded to shore. From any more danger, he thought he was free when a mean old badger chased Chuck up a tree. That tree was a big one, 10 meters tall. That tree was an old one, and it started to fall. Chuck jumped from the tree and into the air and plunked himself down on the back of a bear. The bear got scared, and she started to run. Chuck started to laugh. He thought it was fun. Into the forest the frightened bear flew, with Chuck sticking on her back like glue. The bear ran and ran until she hit a big bump, and Chuck bounced off her back to the ground with a thump. He was lucky enough to land on his feet, but an eagle flew down and grabbed him by the seat. Over the treetops the eagle flew high, and Chuck found himself once again in the sky. Enjoying the ride, he yelled, "Northward ho!" And at that very moment, the eagle let go. On his way down, Chuck was grabbed by the hawk, the same one he chased at the start of his walk. But the hawk looked at Chuck and said, 2 is a crowd, and he took Chuck away to a big fluffy cloud. Now everyone knows that cloud makes fog, and sometimes clouds rain cats and dogs. But on this day, the cloud rained Chuck. He landed in a puddle of muck. Ew. The puddle of muck was soft, not hard, and it happened to be in Chuck's backyard. Into his house he went in a hurry and saw his mother stricken with worry. "You've been gone all day," she yelled. "Look at the clock." "I'm okay, Mom," said Chuck. "I just went for a walk." The end. I hope you guys like that story. Examaga.